First of all, guys, amazing job on this film. I watched it last night, and I'm not gonna lie, I had some really weird dreams, and then I watched it again this morning, and it's still as brilliant as it was before. So, first of all, I want to talk about Blair and Gabe's relationship, especially in part one. Can you talk to me about the nature of their relationship?
Doomed from the start. A lot of aggressive tactics, I think, done by both of them, and passive aggressive,
and then also like outright aggressive.
and then outright aggressive. All the levels of aggressive.
All the levels of aggressive. Now, first of all, when you guys got this script and the idea for this film, what were some of the elements that jumped out to you that wanted you that you wanted to jump on this project?
I think, the writing was really, obviously, we both sat down and read the script first. And I think that the writing really stood out as something that was original, that I'd never seen before. It's a piece that's really driven by the characters. And so as an actor, it was like an opportunity and a challenge to really play, the first half versus the second half of the movie. And I just think Larry, really looked at creative relationships and relationships in general in such a honest, intense way that I really was curious about exploring.
I actually wanted to touch on that. Can you guys talk to me about the collaboration process with Lawrence, mainly because I know that he was the writer and director? How does that help inform your characters? Especially because in part one and part two, it's almost like, different characters.
I think, I think he's there for any question that you have, but I will say that he was good about kind of switching hats and not being the nice thing is he kind of interpreted his own work as the director and was kind of open to some experimentation or changes or what have you. So he wasn't precious about his own writing, which I appreciated.
What is the significance of the black bear for both of you guys that makes its appearance in the movie?
I think some sort of existential symbolic thing. You know what I mean? I obviously at least that's what I think it is. It's like the tall, dark figure. You know what I mean by that? Like
Absolutely.
When people have the waking, the lucid dreams, that tall, dark figure. It's kind of like that.
How about for yourself, Sarah?
Yeah, I think it's the kind of the climax, the peak of your creative unraveling.
Now, the location is this beautiful lake house that most of all this takes place in. Can you talk to me about how that location may have helped your performances and also the challenges of shooting in that location?
Yeah, I mean, we were out in the Adirondack Mountains. We were shooting on a lake estate. Aubrey, Chris, and I stayed about an hour from there, and we would drive to and from work together. Really isolated. So when we got to set, there was no cell service and no Wi-Fi, and the estate that we were shooting on wasn't really kind of built for a film set. So we would lose power at least once, up to 3 times a night, where we'd have to stop for 20 minutes and restart the generator or switch to the generator. And it added, I think, to the intense isolation that you experience watching the movie.
Now, Chris, you share a ton of scenes with Sarah, but also Aubrey. Can you talk to me about what she brought to the role that may have not necessarily been on the page?
I mean, I think, Larry and Aubrey can speak to this better, but, I think it was written for her, or it was, I think it was written for her. So I think, and they, Larry and Aubrey had known each other for some time. So I think they're, when you write for someone in mind, it kind of just, you're kind of just able to kind of highlight all their attributes that I think Larry saw. And so basically, Aubrey was able to have this map of a very nuanced character. And then she just kind of, and she's not afraid as an actor to do anything. So she's able to kind of, to just bring it to life in a way that I think is amazing.
And Sarah, well, both of you guys, can you guys talk to me about maybe one of the most memorable days on set for you guys?
It's funny because Chris and I have been talking about the experience of making this movie, and it feels like he's often said it felt like a dream, because it kind of did. We were shooting nights for 4 weeks.
Wow.
And you kind of start to lose any kind of sense of time or reality when you're on that schedule for so long. Weirdly, some of the things that stand out the most to me are on the drive home, when we would be driving home as the sun was rising, and we'd be driving through the forest and then through the mountainous lakes, and steam would be rising up off the lakes, and we'd just had this intense work day, and we were all just kind of in this daze, quietly driving home.
That's awesome. Chris, how about yourself? Probably those drives, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I second that. Again, it all kind of feels like one day, so it's hard to go think back and try to pick apart like a specific 18 hours that they all kind of blended into each other. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot. It was those drives, constantly looking for actual bears in the woods. It was all just a silly game.
There's so much to take from this movie, and you can analyze it. This is the one thing I do love about the film, is that it has this rewatchability, because there's something new. Because I saw it again this morning, and there's something new you can get from the film. In your opinion, what does the film mean to each of you?
I don't know if there's, one kind of meaning to find in the movie. What I love so much about watching movies that are really about relationship dynamics is how often you can watch it at one point in your life and you really feel sympathetic and you feel a lot of compassion towards one character, while you're kind of like judging and you're being hard on the others. And I think, and then you can watch it again another point in your life, and because of where you're at in your own relationships, you see it in a completely new way. And so I think that I would hope that you would have that experience when you're watching this movie and rewatching it later.
Well, look, you guys did a phenomenal job. I want to thank you guys for your time. Congratulations on the film. Amazing job. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, guys.